These ain't glorified gang or prison stories, man. These is lived experiences. Welcome back to the Slang Glow podcast show. Do Rock Creep. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here at this roundtable amongst my roundtable family. Salute to all of y'all for joining me, man. Hey, look, it's a blessing to be able to do these lives. It's a blessing to be able to show up at this roundtable when we are able to. So best believe each and every time y'all pop out when I ask y'all to do so, man. Hey, man, that's a blessing. That's a blessing beyond words, a blessing beyond any way that I can ever express to any of y'all how much, that means to me and the entire Swang Low Roundtable family. So again, shout out to all of y'all, man. Now look, before I jump into this story, let me ask you, if you haven't already did it, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Swang Low podcast show. Do Rock Creek. Like, hit the like button. Subscribe, most definitely. You feel me? And feel the share it if you feel the need to. If you know somebody out there that you know these videos can help, whatever information we provide to them, man, share them to whoever you feel needed. You feel me? Don't deprive anybody of anything, man. Straight up. But look, now this story right here, right, involves myself, right, and another couple of people, right. I'm gonna have to rename the main character in this story, right. And I've told this story before. However, like I've told y'all, like back when I first started getting into the stories, we was having audio issues, and then on top of that, my channel kept getting struck because I was using a song that I actually had recorded. It was a free beat that I had downloaded off of YouTube, and I put it on the show, and they start striking my channel for it, so I ended up having to take it down. So with that come a lot of these stories. So anyway, it's a great story. However, I didn't go into like full detail on everything involving this main character guy, right? And we're gonna call this main character, we're gonna call him Fairy, Ferry, Fairy. We're gonna call him Fairy, right? Okay, now Fairy, I have been knowing for a very, very long time, since like childhood. You feel me? And I used to have Fairy around me a lot, basically because he was a good friend to me. So anybody that's around me, I would want them to be as respected amongst all my social circle. So if you're with me, I want you to be embraced amongst everybody else that I'm cool with, that I'm tight with, and vice versa. Right. So being that I had this dude around me all the time, a lot of people was embracing him, and so we was, in good company with each other at that time. So anyway, now, all these chain of events took place right after I got out of prison in 1994, right? Remember, I told you I was released from prison November 22nd, 1994, right? Never forget the day. Bam. And I stayed out of prison for 3 months after that release. Okay, so within that time span of November till the day I got arrested, which was March of 1995, right? Um, um, this stuff was happening, right? Now, this ain't gonna be no super long story and nothing like that. I listen to the comments. I got some people saying, "Oh man, the main part of the story was only 15 minutes, and you took this long to do this and do that, right?" Well, I like setting up the scene. I like being able to set the stage to a lot of these things, or else if I just jump right into something, you're not gonna understand where it came from, what inspired certain things to happen the way that it did, right? So anyway, with this story, with this guy Ferry, I get back in touch with him once I get out of prison. Bam, he immediately come pick me up, and bam, he take me to his house. He had managed to get his own apartment. He ended up getting married while I was in prison, and bam. So he take me to his apartment. I go meet the wife in person for the first time. We chill, everything cool. So I found myself in that environment of life, right? In which I ended up making that environment like like a safe haven for not just myself, but anybody that was in my social circle at that time. So bam, like I said, I'm over there a lot now. This specific apartment building where he stayed at was in my hood, right? To the people that's familiar with the area of Morovia and Duarte, we was down on Duarte Road, like almost across the street from Bicycle Sam, just a little bit further down on Duarte Road. So anyway, we in these apartments, man, and like I said, everything was cool. However, before I got out and started going over there all the time, I'm gonna be cutting this camera on and off too periodically while I tell this story. So bear with me, people. So anyway, I'm going over there. Now, before I start going over there, it was already existing issues that was going on between the landlord and Ferry. So bam, Groove Daisy, I see you. Shout out to you, Brody. Salute. So bam, look, when I get over there, I'm over there to chill, kick back, or whatnot. I'm not over there to cause no issues or problems or nothing. Really, I had no issues or nothing like that with nobody over there. But it was a situation that ended up taking place between Ferry and a guy that stayed right next door to him, right, which was a retired Army reservist type guy, right, white guy. So bam, that person used to have like a lot of his Army friends over at his apartment. They'd be over there watching the game and just hanging out, right? But when they was over there, they would be loud as I don't know what. I'm talking about to the point where it's banging on the walls, they stomping on the floors, they over there screaming, they over there going crazy, right? So I remember saying something to Ferry about this a few times, right? And him always, man, I'm getting tired of them, this and that and blah blah blah, right? And really, that's as far as it went. But one time, I guess this situation happened where the neighbor had some of his buddies over there, and they over there loud as I don't know what. And Ferry took it upon himself to call the manager, and I guess the manager ended up calling the police, right? So the police go over there and harass the neighbor, but the police tell this guy, hey, your neighbor is over here calling the police on you and this and that and blah, 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 right? Which wasn't true. So, bam. So, being that the police gave dude this information, now they over there hot, him and his Army buddies. Now, mind you, the neighbor, the actual neighbor, he was retired Army reservist, but all his buddies they used to come over there and chill with him was still active duty, right? So bam, I remember. I think this was like during a Super Bowl or something, right? But I remember it being loud as I don't know what, right? So bam, I leave. So when all this stuff go down between Barry, the neighbor, and the manager, I'm not there. So I remember I go over there, like after all this happened, I go over there, them telling me about this stuff, right? So I'm like, that's crazy. So bam, I remember being in this room, right, chilling, and I hear somebody knock on the door. Bam, 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 right? So I was gonna get up and go answer the door. I was gonna leave out the room that I was in and go answer the door. But Ferry jumped up like, nah, I got it, I got it, I got it, right? So he run to the door. So when he opened the door, just so happened is a couple of the guys next door's Army buddies, right? So this is how they play it now. I'm not in the actual room, in the living room. I'm not in there. I'm in another room, but I can hear the conversation, right? It's not no big apartment or nothing like that. You feel me? So bam. So I hear them telling him like, oh, we wanted to come apologize about the noise and this and that. We come and hang out with our buddy, and on our off time and this and that and blah, 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 right? So then next thing you know, I hear like a loud punch, like, pow, right? Right? And then I hear Fairy scream, oh, F, right? So when I hear that commotion, I jump up and I run out there. So he's standing at the door, right? The door's right here in the living room area, right? So Fairy is standing in the door holding his face, and I see blood just dripping all down his face, all down his arm, and all that, right? Right? So I run up in there. I'm like, what happened, right? So he couldn't say nothing. He just pointing outside the apartment. So bam, I run to the front door. By the time I make it to the front door, now the way these apartments is set up, it's like now we upstairs, bro. We upstairs. And then when you walk up these stairs, you go like a little distance, you feel me, until you reach the actual apartment where we was at. So, but from that, the door where the apartment was at, I can look down and look. I can see the whole pool. I can see on the other side of the pool leading to the front, well, the side entrance of those apartment buildings, basically where we used to always park at, right? So I know exactly where they going. They running out the side of these apartments. It's a side street right there. So what they did was they had like all the rest of their buddies go get ready. They had it all set up. They out there parked on that side street. So they already had it planned. We gonna everybody gonna be out here on the side street in the car ready to go. We're gonna send John over here. He probably hit the hardest out of all of them, right? So bam, we're gonna send John over there. John gonna get off on him and break, right? This is exactly how it happened. So bam. By the time I make it to the front door, I see like two other white dudes. They down on the other side of the pool by that side entrance leading to that street. And they telling they boy, like, come on, come on, come on, right? But this fool is already by the pool, right? So I run down the stairs, bro. They gone. By the time I make it to that entrance and to that side street, they gone, right? So that's how I already knew they had that planned out. But look, Ferry got hit so hard, and he said this dude hit him one hand, right? He had to have some big ass brick like hands, right? Because dude hit him one time, bust and fractured his nose, pushed back two of his teeth, right? Pushed them back and chipped, right? All from one hit. All his mouth was all busted open. His lips were swollen like sausages. You know what I'm saying? And his nose was crooked. He had blood just gushing out everywhere, right? So bam. Now that incident happened, right? So bam. There was no get back for that situation because the neighbor, we was never able to. Well, during the times when I would pop up over there, which was frequent, right? We was never able to catch him. We was never. He knew when to come and go. He knew our schedule better than we knew our own schedule, right? So we wasn't able to get no get back on him. So another incident took place right after that. This is why we wasn't able to get this dude, the neighbor. So bam, it's probably like some days after all this other stuff transpired with the neighbor. So bam, um, uh, I'm over there one night chilling, and I remember I'm getting ready to smoke inside the house, and Fairy's wife complaining, go outside, y'all always smoking the house out, and this and that, and blah blah blah. Go out on the patio and do this, right? Now, now, every time this lady suggested that we go out on the patio and smoke, something always happened, right? One time we did it, we went out and got shot at. I told y'all about that story, how the people snuck up through the parking lot, through the church parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And we was up on the third floor. They snuck up there and shot through the tree line. Yeah, she suggested that night we go out to smoke. So this particular night, she crying and complaining. So I go out. I'm standing out on the balcony. Mind you, we upstairs, and I'm smoking. And out of nowhere, hold on, out of nowhere, the manager come out of nowhere. Him and it was it was a white guy by the name of Todd, right? That stayed in those apartment buildings as well, right? Now, I didn't know Todd. Everybody else in there knew him, including Ferry. Didn't know him. Didn't get to meet him until that night. So while I'm standing up there smoking my cigarette, right? The manager and Todd pop up and they standing down by the pool and they standing down there just looking at me. They'll talk to each other, and then they'll look up there, then they go back to talking to each other, then they look up there, right? So I'm standing up there smoking, I'm looking, I'm like, what's up? And they kept talking to each other, but they wouldn't acknowledge me. But they're looking up there at me, right? So bam, shout out to Damo Robbins, my bro channel. Shout out to you, Brody. Appreciate you for making the live. For sure, for sure. But so I'm standing up there. I'm like, "What's up?" So they not acknowledging me. So I tell Ferry, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey, man, come out here, man, and holler at your." Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Stay with me. I'm not going nowhere. We're gonna fall silent for a second, but I'll be right back. We're far from finished with the story. Uh, Hold up, y'all. I ain't with nowhere. I'm back. Back. Hold up. Hold up. All right, yeah. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, y'all better be puffing Jada up. Oh, you think I'm puffing right now? I need to be. I actually did before the show. I don't do it on camera no more though. Feel me? We here though. I see everybody popping in. Gonna pop this camera back on in a hot second. Promise y'all. Hey, can somebody please remind me where I was at in the story? Jump in the chat right now. Remind me where I was at, where I left off at. I'm not trying to deprive y'all of nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna say, yo, you in the garage? We finna get back in it. Oh, okay, okay. I told Ferry about the manager. Okay, yeah, man. So hold up. Yeah. So look, I tell him like, hey man, come out here, man. These dudes is tripping, right? So he come out, he come out there, right? He like, I'm getting tired of this MF. I'm getting tired of him and this and that, right? He tripping, right? But while he's saying this, he's walking down the he's actually Barry is actually walking down the stairs. So I'm standing, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think he was gonna go down there and what was gonna happen ended up happening, right? But so I'm still standing at the top of the stairs smoking my cigarette, just watching him, right? While he talking a whole bunch of stuff while he walking down the stairs. So the manager see him coming. Now the manager was this type of dude. He was the type of dude that wear all the gear, the big, all the keys. You feel me? The flashlight, the toilet plunger. Like he wore all this stuff around on this big belt, right? So bam, he see bro coming down the stairs. So as soon as he see bro making his way to him, he immediately grab that big old flashlight. The flashlight was one of the metal ones, one of them big old hard metal ones, right? So as bro walking up on him, saying what he's saying to him, right? As soon as he got within swinging range, the manager now the cool thing about this is they got off on each other at the same time. Right? Because as soon as he got up on the manager, he got in the swing position and the manager went for his flashlight, right? So once they start swinging, they both connected at the same time. The only difference was when the manager cracked him in his face with that flashlight, it split the whole side of his face wide open, right? Blood gushing out everywhere. Now, Todd, the white guy Todd that was standing down there with the manager, when everything popped off, when everything popped off, he run now, mind you, all this is taking place down by the pool area. Right now, you know it's pool. I mean, it's tables, it's little tables with the umbrellas and all that stuff around the pool area and stuff, right? So the Todd he run to one of those tables and he taking his keys and throwing all this on the table and turning around like he finna go get cracking, like they finna jump bro, right? So that's when I run down the stairs. I start making my as soon as I seen him doing that, right? So by the time he made it to try to assist the manager, I'm owning, right? Boom, 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 boom. So now we beating up Todd and the manager right there on the side of the pool, right? So while all this is going on, people coming out their apartments, you know what I'm saying? I remember the manager wife. Now, this is another reason why I think the manager used to be tripping like that because his wife, I think she had a thing for black men. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying because every time one of us popped up over there, here she come out of nowhere, right? But she come in and she's talking a whole bunch of right, in which none of us really paid no attention to. We just thought she was a bugged in the head old lady, right, and kept it moving. So anyway, I remember her hearing her voice out there that night while we out there beating these dudes, right? Man, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Mind you, I'm fresh out of prison when all this is going on. So when this incident take place, I'm not gonna lie, I blacked out. I thought I was back in prison. And And all I seen while I'm sitting here just beating this dude because he didn't have a chance at all, right? And I'm not saying that bragging either. You feel me? But at the same time, when he made his move to go assist this manager, who, by the way, was extremely racist, the manager was a Hispanic, an older Hispanic guy, right? Extremely racist. That's why I say I think like this incident, amongst others that happened at that time, all involving this manager, comes from his wife. He probably looked at it like how we did. She have a thing for black men because every time one pop up in these apartments, here she come. Or she see we'll pull up. A lot of the times we'll pull up on that little side street, and they window is right there on that side street. So she's seen every time when we were parked right there. So she's seen every time we hop out the car, bam, here she come. Here she come. You feel me? And then some strange stuff end up happening with the husband, just like this night. So bam, I black out on Todd. I think I'm back in prison when I'm beating Todd's rear end, right? And the only thing that saved Todd was one of my young homies was there and grabbed me from the back and pulled me off of him. It was like, that's it, you gonna kill him. You gonna kill, that's it, right? And I remember like fighting to make him let me go. And I was gonna trip on him, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But then I realized I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? And I looked around and I see all these people coming out the apartment buildings this night, right? It was chaotic because you hear all kind of stuff, right? Then I hear somebody say the police. And as soon as I hear the police, right, I break. Now, my thing was I'm trying to get up out of here. All I heard, the police, that snapped me right back into reality. I'm on parole. What am I doing? Why am I blacking out like that? I'm on parole. I can't be doing this. So when I hear police, I break. Bam. So I'm trying to run to the back and out to a side street, right? So while I'm running, it's a old white man, probably had to be like 70, right? No cap, like 70, right? He's out there in his robe. Remember, I told y'all when this incident take place, everybody come out the apartment buildings and they watching us beat these dudes down, right? So, so while I'm trying to run, the old man, I guess he had came out and was one of the looky loos, but I guess he wanted to play Captain Save him, right? So while I'm trying to run, he's in my way, so I don't know if I'm gonna go left or if I'm gonna go right, right? So when I try to go right, he go right. I'm like, what the hell? I go left, he go left. I'm like, is this dude? Then he reached out and grabbed me. I'm like, oh, you're trying to restrain me, old man? So I grabbed him and just pushed him, right? And he went tumbling off wherever he went. So actually, when that happened, I'm like, no, I don't want to run out the back now. And the stairs was just right here, right? Leading back up to the apartment where we was at. So I'm like, I changed my mind right there, split second decision. Ran up them stairs, right? I want these people to see me running up the stairs, right? So bam, when I run up the stairs, I dart inside the apartment real quick. When I'm running through the apartment, one of the females there, she like, you ain't gotta do this, you ain't gotta do it. I'm like, man, shut up, bitch. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Shut up, B. Right? I'm running straight through the apartments. So I mean straight through the apartment, through the living room, through one of the bedrooms, kicked the screen out, and jumped out that window off the second story. Right? This is no BS. So bam, I jump out the second story, right? I Fortunately I landed on some grass. The grass was wet. So when I land on the grass, I remember falling. I fell straight back like that. As soon as I hit the ground, bam, right on my butt. So so I remember I'm like, oh man, I was hurting, right? So while I'm trying to get up off the ground, I'm looking down. Now I'm on DeWardy Road. For anybody from my city, y'all know where I'm at. I'm on DeWardy Road, right? And I see the police cars parked out in front of the apartment building. So I'm looking, I'm like, is they in the car or is they out? I couldn't tell. But all I know is I'm gonna get up out of here. So bam. Luckily, when I ran up to the apartments, they was just coming in. When the people screamed police, they was just starting to make their way in. So I had enough time to do what I did. So when I hop out that window, bam, I hit the ground, like I said. So then I go the opposite way towards let me give y'all towards Mayflower, put it that way. For those of y'all that is from my city. I go towards Mayflower. I don't run all the way down to Mayflower though, right? So I mean not Mayflower, damn it. Uh what's the next cross street, man? Going into Arcadia. Right. Okay, let's just say going towards Arcadia. I don't run all the way down. And the wash is right there. So I hit the wash and I go through the wash a little bit and I come back up in somebody's backyard, which is kind of right next to where those apartments was at, where I was at. Right. So I go through there, bam. And I remember jumping this wall and making it was like a little space in between those apartments where I was at and a wall, and then like the houses is on the other side of the wall. So I remember going through there and stopping in my tracks because I heard police walkie-talkies. Now, what was going on is they're looking for me. They searching all through these apartment buildings. They looking for me. People was telling them like he ran through here. Other people were saying he ran up the stairs through an apartment. So they searching all through these apartments. But what I didn't know was where I had made it at, which was what I was trying to do. I'm trying to get to the side street, right? If I'm able to get to this side street, I can get this little houses over here, right? So I'm trying to get to one of those houses. Call the female that I was with at that time, who was still over in the apartment buildings, right? Where the police had them all held at, right? So I'm trying to get over here, call her, tell her, F all that, leave. I'm come to the car. I'm right by the car, right? This is the message I want to get out to her. But I'm stopped in my tracks because the police is all throughout these apartment buildings looking for me. And just so happened I stopped right on time because I'm right here. And then immediately, like right around the corner on the other side of this building, the police is right there. This is why I can hear they walkie-talkie so good. And there's cars parked right there. So they searching all up under these cars. I can hear these police talking to each other. I hear on the walkie-talkie, all that, right? All they had to do was turn around and look on the side of that, and they would have caught me right there, right? But they didn't because they was so intense on getting searching through all that parking lot, the apartments, all that, right? So bam, I wait right there for like an hour and a half. Hour and a half, I'm not moving, nothing, right? So bam, after I don't hear nothing else, I make my way across the street, right? I get across the street. Mind you, I want to get this message, so I'm trying to use somebody's phone. They didn't have cell phones back then. This is in when this happened. This happened in 1994, right? I'm fresh out of prison. All this is happening back to back, fresh out, right? So anyway, so I run across the street. I go to the first door I see, and I knock on it. Da, 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 da. Right? Stand there. I'm looking around. I'm paranoid. You feel me? Police cars is going up and down the street. Like they looking for me actively. So bam, I knock on the door again. Pop, 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 pop. Right? The door opened up real fast, right? Real fast. And before you know it, I got a gun in my face. Right? And then what when I realized what's going on, right? Dude holding the gun, right? He had like I don't know if he was looking through the peephole or what, but when that door opened up, he had that gun trained on my entire face, act with accuracy, right? And in back of him, it was like 3 or 4 other dudes up in there, right? All of them got guns pointed at me, right? And the main one, he like, what you doing here? What you doing here? What you doing here, right? So I'm like, hey, hold up, right? I'm like, hey man, no, look, I need help, right? They're like, what you mean you need help? Why you come to this door? Why you choose this door, right? They are tripping now. This dude, the main dude is a Hispanic. The other dudes that's behind him is Hispanic except one, right? So I'm trying to tell this dude, I'm like, hey, I said, look, I said, I just got chased. I said, I'm from out here. I just got chased by some bloods, right? I said, I need to call to have somebody come pick me up and this and that. The people that I'm trying to get in contact with is right across the street, right? They like, what? They like, ain't no bloods out here. Like, you're not even from out here. You don't know where you at, and this and that, right? So I'm like, no, I know where I'm at. I said, I'm from out here, right? So one of the other dudes, the white dude that's in the back, he get the saying, he like, I know a lot of do rocks. He said, you from do rock? I said, yeah. He like, I know a lot of do rocks. He said, I be working on a lot of their cars. He like, I'll be over here. He get to describe the streets and all this and that. He name a few names. I'm telling, I know all them. So he telling me, he like, well, I'll be over there all the time. He said, I ain't never seen you over there before, right? Right? Which is true because I had never seen him, but yet still, the people he named, I knew. He knew the people that he named, period. So anyway, bam. So I'm telling them, I'm like, look, man, so they tripping like, because I told them it was some bloods chasing me. It was a lie. I just made that up. I didn't just want to say that we beat up these dudes across the street. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the police is looking for me and this and that. I didn't want to say all that. So I just made this shit up, right? So bam. So the main one, he like, who you trying to get in contact with, right? I said, the female that I'm with is right across the street. Her car is right here, right? He like, show me the car. So he got me at gunpoint this whole time. The other ones don't come out. Matter of fact, he told the other one stay in. He gonna come out with me, right? And he had me at gunpoint this whole time. So we walk out. I'm trying to stay in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling him. And he seen like a couple of police cars flying up and down the street, right? So I'm telling him, like, here go her car right here, the gray one right here, right? So he's like, all right, he like, come over here. So we go on the side of the house. Now it's bushes over there, it's trees, it's dark. So we in the cut, but but we a little too in the cut because, like I said, this fool got me at gunpoint still. He's not believing what I'm saying, what I'm telling him, right? So bam, finally I convinced him. Just let me use your phone. I'm gonna show you, right? So finally I convinced him. He let me use the phone. I call old girl, tell her to come out to the car. I'm hiding on the side of on the side of the car right now. Come out. She telling me about the police. They looking for me and this and that and blah blah blah. Right? I'm like, let's go. So bam, finally she come out. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the dude put the gun up. That's the only time he put that gun up, and I got up out of there. We had to go pick up the dude Ferry, of course, because he was all remember. I told y'all these incidents happened back to back. Him getting socked in the face, getting his nose and his teeth and all that messed up, right? This was days later, right? He get that done to him. Then turn around, we get into the fight with the manager and the dude Todd, right? The manager crack him in his face and bust his face all the way. So we had to take this fool to the hospital. That's when we get to the hospital, that's when I realized my foot was messed up. I don't know if it was from me stomping out Todd or when I jumped out that window. I think it was from when I jumped out the window though, out the second story window. But my adrenaline was going so much, I didn't feel nothing until way later once we got to the hospital and Ferry was getting his injuries taken care of. That's when my foot just felt numb. You feel me? That's when the pain kicked in. You feel me? But even after all that happened, right? I went back over through those apartments, right? Now, after that incident took place between me, Ferry, the manager, and the guy Todd, I went back over there probably like a few days after that. And I remember when I walked in there, everybody looking at me crazy, right? Everybody looking at me crazy, right? And I remember going inside the apartments. Now it was another white dude that stayed in those apartments that actually used to mess with Ferry. He was cool. We used to drink with him. Crazy, crazy white dude, right? And I remember him coming over to the apartments that day, and him telling me, "Hey, man, hey," he said he drinking. At that time we had like a big bottle of moonshine, right? That everybody was scared to drink, so we kept that on top of the refrigerator. So when this white dude came over, here, go ahead, drink up, cause he gonna have you laughing. He used to have us dying. So when he came over there that day, he's drinking that, and he was like, "Hey, man," he said, "Hey, Creep, man, he said, is it true you the one that did that to fucking Todd?" Right? So I'm like, I just started laughing, right? He said, "Hey, man," he said, "you did a real number on him, bro." I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Hey, man, like his jaw was broken and he had fractures in his face. Like he ain't been out of his house in days since he left the hospital." I'm like, wow. I ain't seen nobody. I ain't seen him. You feel me? But they said he was messed up real bad. I just remember that situation going the way that it went because had he not had he not made the move that he made, right? Like he was finna get in that between Ferry and the manager, it would have been a fair one. I wouldn't have got in it. The manager was an older dude too. On top of that, he didn't need no help with that dude. Although bro cracked him in his face hard as I don't know what with that metal flashlight, the metal ones, them big heavy hard ones. He had one of them. It was black. You feel me? And as soon as bro got in arm's distance, cracked him. Bow! Right? That face just immediately opened up. Bow! Opened up. All you seen was meat. Blood just squirting out everywhere. Jake, Jake Brown, my Brody, man, what's happening with you, man? I send all love and respect to you as always, bro. You feel me? Stay tapped in. Shout out to everybody, man, that's in the chat, bro. Everybody was able to catch this live, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Yeah, man, but oh, you talking about no, Miss Golden, she asked did I ever see the neighbors. Well, what ended up happening was um like I said, I went back over there a few days after that. The other white guy was telling me about time and all this and that, and then um Ferry ended up getting kicked out those apartments. It was like I said, it was already ongoing stuff before I even got out of prison between him and that manager. So when I got out that night, you know what I'm saying? You got to remember, like I said, when he was mad, Barry was already mad because when that situation happened with the neighbor, he called Ferry called the manager. He didn't call the police. He called the manager. The manager is the one that called the police, which led to them telling uh, um, um, the neighbors that bro is calling on them, in which he didn't, which led to them coming over there, socking him and busting him all up, right? So he was already tripping on the manager. So that night, when I'm out there smoking a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? That was pretty much the icing on the cake right there. Once all that happened, he ended up getting kicked out right after that. That's when we ended up changing locations and moving up behind Viva. You feel me? And I told y'all how all that once we got up there, it was all this stuff was happening back to back. You know what I'm saying? That situation that I just told y'all about right now, right, led all the way up until us moving up there to the other spot behind Viva, right, and us getting shot at, right, me having to run down on the young dude. It was just a number of things back to back, right? So I did a show called um, I think what led me to prison or what led me to getting life in prison, right? Where I pointed out these different events that had happened, right? That led up all the way up until me coming to prison, for what I'm in prison for. Everything is relative, right? I'm just telling it in sections because it was happening back to back. You feel me? So when people be like, man, that story was like 15 minutes, but you said this, yeah, because it's a sequence of different things. You feel me? And you got to understand one in order to fully understand the next. You feel me? Especially when I'm talking about, the time period that leads up to, me catching all the time that I caught. You feel me? It pinpoints out a mentality. It pinpoints out, the mind state that a person could have been in. You know what I'm saying? It pinpoints out, your one's points of views on certain things. Like you just gotta pay attention. You feel me? And then it's a whole bunch of stuff that I have to leave out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just protecting myself, put protection on myself. I have to leave certain things out. I have to, especially like real names and all that stuff. Hell yeah, I'm not here to crucify nobody. These are stories. These are stories that hopefully, as I tell them, you can see all the mistakes that I've made while going through these stories. You can be like, oh, yeah, I see where he effed up at right there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have did that. You did what? What? Yep, you messed up. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole beautiful thing about having this round table. Y'all jump in the chat, man, and get cracking, get active. You feel me? But nah, so we never. That's why I say we never got no get back on the next door neighbor. You feel me? Because after they came and socked old boy out, the situation with the manager happened, and after that happened, he got booted up out of there. So we never got a chance to get the neighbor. Plus, I don't think it would have been smart of us doing anything to him anyway after the police was involved anyway. You feel me? That situation with the manager and Todd, that was just by chance. I don't know what they was on that night. You feel me? Hey, that's real, J Dub. Bro say I haven't heard you say anything today I wouldn't or haven't already done myself, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I was just, it was all this stuff, bro, was, yeah, y'all gotta remember too, during this time period, I was 22 years old, 21, 22. You feel me? Still young, still I was still trying to, at that time, I was trying to figure out how to pick back up the pieces to my life at that age, having already been to prison and got out when I was 21. I'm trying to figure it out. Life was moving fast as I don't know what. I'm out there looking like everything just chum, chum, chum. I'm fresh out of prison trying to figure out like, how is this stuff moving so quick? I need to adjust. There's certain things that I want that I know I'm going to have to work hard for, harder than the average person, being that I've been in prison. You feel me? And have felonies on my record now. So I'm dealing with all that. You feel me? Although that's not an excuse, that's it's not a pity party, not at all, because people go through worse stuff than that. So no, it's not a pity party, people. Do not mistake it. No mistaking. Hold on. Don't do pity parties here, man. We're realists. You feel me? Being a realist is, accepting responsibility for your F ups. You feel me? Your decision makings and not placing the blame, passing the buck on anybody outside of your grown self. Period. Feel me? Hey, but even once we moved over to the other spot, like I said, man, it just got even more crazy. The same people that was at the old spot came over to the new spot. You know what I'm saying? And it was wild. We was young, living wild. You feel me? Doing stupid stuff, making stupid decisions, all that. What young people do, right? Not all young people. All young people ain't idiots. I ain't saying that. You feel me? What's happening with everybody out there tonight, though, man? You already made a video of what led you catching all the time. If so, have you already made a video of what led up to catching all that time? If so, where can I find it? Hey, Jada, like I was just explaining, right? Um, uh, I have broken down like a sequence of different um events that eventually led up to me getting arrested, right? I haven't spoken on the actual cases. You feel me? Because I can't. You feel me? It's stuff is still in court right now as we speak. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to put anything in jeopardy. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I tell these stories, um, you know, different sequences. You feel me? Of events that took place. So I tell that I speak around the actual stuff that actually what I'm in here for. Yeah, I most say my off days, I'm relaxing. Oh, today off day for Shorty. Got to, man. You gotta take advantage of them. That mode, you got to. For real, man. Hey, tell your little brother I send mines to him too, bro. Little channel. But AJ up, yeah, man, it was a lot of stuff, man. It was a lot of stuff going on, within the 90 days or so that I was out. And, I've spoken about a lot of those different events, you know what I'm saying, in a few different videos that I've done. Like I said, I did one called, let me see, I don't think that one. That's it. I think that my last days on the streets, I think that was just detailing like how that day went. Um, what they was charging me with. You feel me? You can go look at that one. That was a good one. Um, I think I've spoken about uh, a time when um, after we had moved from the one spot to the next, what the different stuff that was taking place over there, us getting shot at, us having the confrontation with the blood dudes with no gun. You feel me? All those different events, I've spoken about those. Those are all different things that surround. me getting arrested. Feel me? So see, that's why a lot of those the older stories that I did, right? Like I said, we was having audio issues back then. You feel me? I'm gonna go back through some of those, find the ones that I can find, man, and try to bring those stories back to y'all. You feel me? Because it was good material. We was just unfortunately having, technical issues, and shit, we fought through it how we had to. But again, man, I'm gonna find some of those stories that I did, and bring them back to the round table, man. So, you can it's a whole bunch of great stuff on this channel, bro. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to um, you know, damn. All right, man. Damn, I hate to hear that, bro. So, hey, yeah, just tell little bro, man, keep his head up, man. I send mines, man. You feel me? I hate to hear that. For real, for real. It's a cold time to be getting locked up, man. This is 2026. You feel me? It's 2026, man. I think back, you know, the time when I came in, right? In comparisons to now, it's almost like people are really still throwing their freedom away. But then again, I also got to look at how the ways of the world is. When you have people like Trump that's making life extremely difficult for the average person in everyday society, the way of living, man, the cost of living, is horrible. It's ridiculous. It's basically painting certain people into a corner of, you know, fight or flee. What you gonna do? So I get it, I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, man, we got to figure something out, something better. We can't keep painting ourselves in the corner. Can't keep allowing ourselves to be painted in the corner, man, where we are forced to jeopardize our freedom away from our family, our loved ones, to come sit in a rotten cage, in a rotten prison, man. Come on, man. You feel me? Hey, I'll trade this cage for anybody's freedom out there any day. Whoever want to give it, y'all want to give it away, y'all can have this. Y'all can have all this. And see, they got this available for you 24/7 around the clock. 24/7. You feel me? J Dub say, I apologize for asking. I meant no disrespect. It's just that I watched your video on getting arrested for the last time and it made me have so many questions, but now I understand your position. Oh yeah, yeah, man. Hey, nah, ain't no disrespect taken, J Dub. Not at all, bro. You feel me? And trust and believe, when I'm able to talk about the actual case, right? I'm definitely gonna do it when I'm able to, and I'm gonna do it without crucifying people, because you got to remember, like, this stuff all took place over 30 something years ago. You know what I'm saying? And people have went and transformed their lives, and they living different, and I'm not here to crucify anybody. I'm trying to get my freedom back, man, and go live out the rest of my days as God grant me to. You feel me? Anything other than that means I learned nothing. All these years in prison, that means I learned nothing. If I get down any other way than that, if I look at it any other way than that, I can't have hatred in my heart for nobody. Period. Whether you did me dirty or not, at the end of the day, my decision making on even having certain people in my space is my effort. You feel me? Now Moose said he knew better too, but he gonna walk it off. Shit pissed me off. We being too foreign to go back to that shit happened. No, no. For sure, man. That's definitely true, man. You feel me? That's definitely true, channel. Hey, trust and believe, bro. I feel that wholeheartedly, bro. You know what I'm saying? But but just like you said, bro, gonna walk that off. You're gonna walk it down, and you know he gonna learn from it. You feel me? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, man, we finna get ready to wrap this up. Feel me? But yeah, channel A again, man. I know bro gonna learn from this situation, man. He gonna bounce back better than ever, Um, all my prayers is with him though, as well as your family, and everybody that love and care for him, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, Jada, man, the time is gonna come where I talk about that stuff, man, and definitely like I want I have just a real big imagination when it comes to, you know, how I see my future being. You feel me? I just got a real big imagination when it comes to that, man. So we gonna all walk the walk together. We gonna all experience together. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. You feel me? Ain't nobody gonna miss out on nothing. I promise you that. But yeah, I'm finna get ready to get up out of here, man. I just wanted to run that little story back by y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it helps somebody out there. You see the mistakes that I made, while telling this story, and you don't put yourself in a situation, man, where you have to do stuff to somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Jada. For real, Brody. For real, for real. You say just do what you have to do, get your freedom, bro. I really hope you achieve that, bro. Real shit. Yeah, for real though, man. Hey, it's gonna happen. And look, we all gonna be there to experience it, to celebrate it. You feel me? And go to the next level together, man. That's the beautiful thing about having this platform. That's the beautiful thing about having the support system that I have through this platform with all y'all. It's a blessing. You feel me? But yeah, I'm finna get ready to get up out of here, man. I've taken up more than enough of you guys' time. Thank you all for tapping in. I appreciate you. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. That the people that's in your life that you love, care for, feel anything for it, know how much you love and appreciate them while you can, because tomorrow's promised to none of us. You feel me? But look, on that note, I'm gonna get up out of here. I love and appreciate you all. Till the next time we meet at this round table, y'all take care, stay safe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already did it, man. Love and appreciate you all. Triple gang.